Chapter 22. I got this, Olaf said confidently as he moved out from behind Elsa and waddled forward. Hi, I'm Olaf. The Northuldra and Arendelians alike screamed, shouted, and slipped as they attempted to get away from the walking, talking snowman. Olaf looked down at himself and then back up at the frightened people. Oh, sorry, he said. Yeah, I just ran close resting, but you're wondering who we are and why we're here. As if he were on a stage performing a snowman show under a spotlight, Olaf started their advertisement. It began with two sisters, one born with magical powers, one born powerless. The Northuldra and the Arendelian soldiers stared. Oh no, too high, blast! Olaf fell to the ground and quickly back up to his feet and challenged Elsa. No, Mama, Papa, help! Matthias looked on as the snowman continued to act out key moments in the sisters' lives. Slam! Doors starting everywhere. Sisters torn apart. Olaf walked around, talking on the gate and mesmerized of each person he was portraying. Well, at least they have their parents, Olaf said in a soft voice. Then his voice changed and became completely void of emotion. Their parents are dead. Next, he dramatized Elsa's little sister. Hi, Anna. Anna, man I just met. Anna wanted to melt into the ground. Although no one there knew who she was, it felt as she had been clued on her biggest, most horrifying secret. She mentally prodded Olaf to move on to another subject. Elsa's gonna blow! Olaf shouted, Stop! No! Run! Olaf began to hum a wild of tune melody that seemed as if it should have been majestic. Magic pauses to my snowflakes, said Then I pulled a deep breath of air before shouting, I live! Then he held his straight arms over his head. He took a stroll, going like Elsa did when she made magical connections. Eyes past one, eyes past one. Get out, Anna! Pew pew! Olaf spun around and staggered in what Anna felt was a completely fabricated performance. My heart! Yes. Matthias' heart widened. Oh my goodness! Only an act of true love can save you. Olaf continued, his voice deepening as he was spot on. The inspiration of Grandpa made Kristoff clap, but after a took from Anna, let his hands drop to his chest. It's a true love kiss. You're not worth it. Guess what? I'm the bad guy. Olaf exclaimed as arms. What? Matthias shouted, and Anna freezes to death forever. Matthias wiped the tears that sprang to his eyes. Oh, Anna! Did she answer this? Olaf shouted. The snowman took a big breath and finished his story. And then Elsa woke the magical spirits and we forced out of the kingdom. Now our only hope is to find the truth about the past, but I don't have a clue up to the that. Except Elsa's hearing voices, so we got that going for us. And questions? The Northuldra and the Arendelians had long since stopped trying to flee. They sat where they had fallen, transfixed both by the tail and the living snowman. No one knew how to react to either. I think they got it, Olaf whispered loudly to Anna and Elsa. The snow was one motion of her hands. Elsa wiped away the ice on the ground. The lieutenant took his time getting to his north seat, and when he did, offered his hand to Yelena. The Northuldra woman frowned at him, but accepted his help nothingness. As soon as she stood, departed, as if the assassin had never happened. Are you really Queen of Arendelle? Matthias asked as they approached the sisters. I am, Elsa said. Why would nature reward a person of Arendelle with magic? Elena asked, her expression showing her confusion. Perhaps to make up for the actions of your people, Matthias responded as he turned to face her. Liliana's eyes handed. My people are innocent. We will never attack first. Anna and Elsa watched the case old enemies reshashed an argument as they seemed to have many times before, but still bothered Anna that she couldn't resolve where knew Matthias from. She framed the lieutenant's face with her fingers, making a square. She closed one eye and looked over the square at him, changing the angle and side of the square as well as the position. May the truth be found, he said when he caught sight of Anna. Hi, I'm sorry. What's happening? Anna didn't answer, to intend on her task. This is different, he said. To the left, instructed right. Okay, this, yes, trying to follow her directions. This side, no left, she corrected him. Sure, Matthias moved again. Now look like you have a just bit of indication, she said. Matthias made one last move. That's it, Anna shouted in excitement, causing a few people nearby to jump at her sudden burst of energy. Lieutenant Matthias, library signal portion on the right. You're our father's official guard. Matthias's eyes narrowed as what Anna was saying sank into his head. Then he looked right at her, and at Elsa, who had walked up behind her sister. He suddenly realized who the two of them were. Agnar. Was he lost at sea? Yes, Anna said, sadness creeping into her voice, as it always did when she thought about the loss of her parents. Her parents' ship went down in the Southern Sea 6 years ago. The 4 Arendelian soldiers and Matthias bowed their heads of their respect to the fallen king and queen. When Matthias looked up, Red and their sister, she was come pretty soon. I'll see him, he said, looking back and forth between the two of them. I see him in your faces. Anna flattered to hear his words. She looked at her sister, coughing her excitement before meeting Matthias's gaze. She was thrilled to know she reminded someone of her father. The least that Anna he'd have been so happy to know you're okay. Soldiers, Matthias commanded with a signal. The soldiers until fell into formation behind Elsa. They recognized her as their queen, and with their formal military stance, they offered their support. But the atmosphere of the camp shifted dramatically when the Arendelians moved into formation. The North soldier whispered and packed nervously, even though Matthias smiled at Yelena. Elsa felt the discomfort as well as sighed. Please, said Elsa, her tone smoothing as she tried to calm them all. Someone called me here. If I can just find them, I believe they have answers to free this forest. Elsa smiled, hoping her words to raise everyone's spirits. Trust me, I just want to help. But no North soldier had trusted before, and it had been determined. But then we only trust nature, said Yelena. When nature speaks, Yelena was interrupted by the fireball shooting up behind Elsa, catching the leaves of a tree on fire. Yelena waited a beat, then vanished. We listen.